There's something powerful about realizing your story isn't over yet. So many people walk through life burdened by the weight of missed chances and unfulfilled potential. They carry memories of moments when they didn't act, seasons when they fell short, and years that now feel wasted. It's easy to look at those times and wonder, have I missed my chance? Did I waste too much time? But the truth is this: missed opportunities and failures are not the end. They are chapters in your story, not the conclusion. And even more than that, they are often the soil from which the greatest breakthroughs grow. What felt like failure was actually redirection. What seemed like a loss may have been a setup for something greater. You see, life doesn't move in a straight line. We are constantly evolving, learning, becoming. And the journey of restoration begins the moment you stop disqualifying yourself because of your past. The moment you stop saying it's too late or I should have known better is the moment you take back the pen and start writing the next chapter with purpose. Your life is not a story of failure, it's a story of growth, grit, and resilience. Think of all the things you've survived. Every disappointment, every delay, every detour, you're still here. And that means restoration is still possible. You haven't missed your moment is still unfolding. Too often we assume restoration means simply getting back what was lost. But restoration goes beyond return. It means being made whole, often better than before. It's not about returning to what was, it's about receiving what is meant for who you've become. What's essential is to stop seeing your past through the lens of shame. Yes, maybe you made mistakes. Maybe you walked away from something too soon or held on to something too long. Maybe you ignored your instincts or trusted the wrong people. But guess what? That's part of being human. Every single one of us has those chapters we'd rather forget. The goal isn't to erase them. The goal is to learn from them, rise above them, and let them refine us, not define us. Restoration starts when you choose to believe that your story still matters, that you still matter. It starts when you silence the voice that tells you it's over and replace it with a whisper of hope. There's more ahead for me. I haven't seen my best days yet. This belief shifts everything. It changes how you speak about your past and how you envision your future. It empowers you to wake up each morning knowing that today could be the beginning of something incredible. It gives you the courage to dream again, even after years of disappointment, and it breathes life back into dry places of the soul. But restoration doesn't happen passively. It requires action. It requires you to stay open to healing, to growth, to new opportunities. It requires humility to say, I got it wrong before, but I'm learning now. And it requires vision, the ability to see beyond what was and look forward to what could be. Don't underestimate the power of a renewed mind. When you begin to shift from regret to responsibility, from self-pity to self-belief, you create space for transformation. Your energy begins to change. Your choices align with your future, not your failures. And gradually, you'll start to see doors open, doors you once thought were permanently shut. Remember, some of the greatest success stories are built on seasons of failure. It's not the people who never fell who rise the highest. It's those who learned how to get back up again and again, stronger each time. Restoration doesn't erase the past, it redeems it. It takes the broken pieces and crafts something more beautiful than what existed before. You are not defined by what you missed, you are defined by what you decide to do now. Let that sink in. Right now, you are standing on the edge of possibility. You can choose to believe that your life is still valuable, that your dreams are still valid, and that the time you thought was wasted is going to be turned into wisdom, power, and impact. Don't let regret become your identity. Let it be your teacher. Let it fuel your growth. Because restoration isn't about going back. It's about moving forward with deeper understanding, greater strength, and renewed purpose. When they look back and wonder if it was all for nothing, the time spent waiting, the energy poured into people who left, the hours, days, or even years invested in dreams that never seemed to materialize, it's easy to start believing that everything you gave was wasted, that the passion, the sacrifice, the late nights, the effort all disappeared into thin air with nothing to show for it. That belief can weigh you down, steal your confidence, and silence your hope. But what if I told you it wasn't wasted? What if I told you it's all being transformed right now into the fuel for your comeback? What once looked like loss is turning into leverage. Every tear, every silent frustration, every time you had to start over from scratch, none of it has been in vain. Though it may have felt like you were moving in circles, you were gaining strength. Though it may have looked like your dream was dying, it was actually being refined. The time you thought was lost is being rewritten with purpose. The truth is, transformation doesn't always look glorious in the moment. It often looks like silence, like struggle, like being stuck in a place that feels like it will never change. But change doesn't always announce itself when it arrives. Sometimes it moves slowly, deeply, under the surface, until suddenly you realize you've been growing this whole time. You've been becoming someone stronger, someone wiser, someone more prepared for what's ahead. There are seasons in life that seem like detours, but they're actually divine preparations. The relationships that failed taught you boundaries. The jobs that didn't work out taught you resilience. The dreams that got delayed gave you time to develop. You didn't see it then, but you're about to see it now. The pieces are coming together. The comeback is on the horizon. And it won't be a comeback that simply replaces what was lost. It will surpass it. Because what you're walking into isn't just compensation. It's transformation. You aren't getting back what you had. You're stepping into what you're truly meant to have. The vision is clearer. The fire inside you is stronger. The lesson has been learned, and now the reward is on its way. Too often we disqualify ourselves from future greatness because of past disappointments. We say, I gave it everything I had and it didn't work. What more can I give? But here's the secret. You didn't lose everything. You still have something priceless, your will to keep going. And that right there is the starting point of your comeback. You are not starting over from nothing. You are starting over with experience, with wisdom, with grit, and most importantly, with a heart that still believes. That belief, even if it's just a flicker, has the power to ignite everything again. Your comeback isn't waiting for you to be perfect. It's waiting for you to be willing. Willing to try again. Willing to forgive yourself. Willing to move forward without carrying the weight of old regrets. Willing to stop asking, why did that happen? And start asking, what can I build now? You see, when you allow yourself to believe that nothing was wasted, your entire perspective changes. Suddenly, that failed relationship wasn't just heartbreak. It was preparation for real love. That job you didn't get wasn't rejection. It was redirection. That time you spent wandering wasn't lost. It was necessary for you to discover who you truly are. You have not missed your moment. You are not too far behind. Life has not forgotten about you. In fact, it's aligning in ways you can't even see yet. All the energy you poured out is about to pour back into your life in ways that surprise you. The door that was closed is going to lead you to one that swings wide open. And when it does, you'll realize you were never behind. You were being positioned. So don't let discouragement become your identity. Don't let the waiting convince you that nothing is happening. Something is happening. Something powerful. A comeback is in motion, not in some distant future, but now, in the quiet decisions, in the little acts of faith, in the way you keep showing up even when you feel empty. The energy you thought you wasted is returning as resilience. The time you thought was gone is returning as divine timing. Times when the burden is invisible, but it presses down on you every single day. These are the silent battles, the ones no one sees. The nights you couldn't sleep because your mind wouldn't stop racing. The mornings you got up anyway, even when your heart was exhausted. The days you kept smiling while breaking inside. These experiences shape you in ways nothing else can. And while they may not come with applause or recognition, they are building something powerful within you. It's easy to dismiss the struggle when you're in it, to think it's pointless, to believe you're stuck while everyone else is moving forward. But the truth is, these very moments, the ones that seem the most unfair, the most painful, are preparing you. They are sharpening you, stretching you, making room for the growth that's on its way. Because growth doesn't come in the comfort zone. It comes in the pressure. It comes in the moments that test your patience, challenge your faith, and force you to confront the parts of yourself you'd rather ignore. Every setback has something to teach. Every closed door has a lesson behind it. Sometimes what feels like rejection is actually protection. What feels like delay is actually development. You are not being punished. You're being prepared. And preparation doesn't always feel good. Sometimes it feels like loneliness. Sometimes it feels like failure. Sometimes it feels like wandering without a map. But even in that confusion, something sacred is happening. You are growing. You are evolving. You are becoming. It's hard to see it when you're still in the middle of the fight. But one day, you'll look back and understand why it all had to happen the way it did. You'll see how the struggle refined you, how the pain humbled you, how the silence made you listen more deeply to your inner voice. Nothing was wasted. Not the tears, not the waiting, not the wondering. All of it was a part of the preparation. When we go through hard times, we often ask, why me? But maybe the better question is, what is this shaping in me? Because adversity reveals strength. It forces clarity. It uncovers your limits and then shows you how to push past them. The struggles didn't break you, they built you. The setbacks didn't stop you, they redirected you. And the battles you fought in silence gave you a kind of resilience that no one can take away. This next season of your life will demand a stronger, wiser version of you. And you're ready for it. Not because you've had it easy, but because you've made it through what tried to break you. You've gained grit from the grind. You've gained patience from the process. You've gained insight from the isolation. And now, when the opportunity comes, you'll be ready to handle it with courage, clarity, and confidence. Think of how many times you wanted to give up, but didn't. Think of how many times you thought it was over, but something inside kept you going. That strength, that fire, that quiet determination, it's not an accident. It's been growing inside you all along, watered by adversity, fed by faith, tested by time. That's why your next chapter won't look like your last, because you're not the same person anymore. You've been changed by the challenges, you've been strengthened by the storms, you've been prepared by the process. And now a shift is happening. A new season is unfolding, one that will use everything you've gained from the struggle, the wisdom you earned, the patience you learned, the discipline you developed. All of it matters. All of it counts. You're not starting fresh. You're starting equipped. And that makes all the difference. It's important to stop thinking of your struggle as a curse. Start seeing it as your training ground. Stop seeing your setbacks as signs of failure. Start seeing them as foundations. Everything you've walked through has been setting you up to walk into something greater. And that something greater? It's not just success, it's significance, it's peace, it's purpose. It's being able to stand in your truth and say, I made it through, and I'm stronger for it. So if you're still in the middle of the fight, hold on, keep going. You're not behind, you're not forgotten, you're in the middle of becoming. The pressure you feel isn't there to crush you, it's there to create something unshakable inside you. And if you've already made it through the worst of it, then don't doubt the timing. The same strength that carried you through the valley is going to carry you into the breakthrough. You've been prepared for this next season, not by ease, but by endurance, not by comfort, but by character. And that preparation is exactly what will allow you to rise. With grace, with wisdom, with power, your time is coming, and you are more than ready. Because every struggle, every setback, every silent battle, it's all been leading to this, like it's something that just happens. They sit in silence, hoping life will suddenly shift, that the pain will disappear, that the dream will finally arrive on their doorstep. But restoration doesn't work like that. It doesn't knock politely and ask if you're ready. It demands something of you. It requires that you rise, even when it's hard. Restoration is not passive. It's intentional. And if you want to receive what's coming, you have to prepare for it. Preparation begins inside, long before any change shows up on the outside. You must prepare your mind. That means clearing space from the clutter of doubt, fear, and unworthiness. You cannot enter a new season carrying the same thoughts that limited you in the last one. The restoration that's coming requires a renewed way of thinking. You have to begin believing you are worthy of good things, that what's ahead of you is not only possible, it's meant for you. It also means preparing your attitude. The way you speak to yourself, the way you view your life, the way you handle small moments, they all matter. An attitude rooted in gratitude and faith will carry you through dry seasons. You don't have to feel hopeful every second, but you must hold on to the decision to stay open. Bitterness can't go where you're going. Complaining won't lead you into the new chapter. You must shift from asking, "Why me?" to declaring, "Watch me." Restoration asks for your heart too, and not just the surface parts you show others, the deep places, the ones you've guarded, the ones that got hurt, the ones that still ache when no one's looking. Your heart must be open to healing, open to releasing old pain, open to trusting again, even if it feels risky. Because true restoration will not happen if your heart is still chained to what broke you. You have to let go to make space for what's coming. What's coming will require a stronger, softer, wiser version of you. Stronger because life has tested you and you didn't quit. Softer because you've learned the value of empathy and grace. Wiser because you now know that not everything lost is meant to be found again, and not everyone left behind belongs in your next season. You're being restored not just to who you were, but to who you were always meant to be. But don't wait to feel ready. You likely won't. Readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. You choose to get ready by acting like it's already on its way. You start waking up with expectation. You start treating each day like preparation, not punishment. You speak life into your future. You make room in your schedule, in your spirit, and in your mindset for what's about to shift. You do the small things quietly and faithfully, even when nothing seems to be moving yet. That's the beauty of preparation. It's a form of belief. You're saying with your actions, I know something good is on the way. And that faith, that expectation, that posture, it attracts opportunity. It changes how you walk through doors. It changes how you carry yourself in rooms you once felt too small for. It changes the way you handle disappointment, because you know it's not the end, just another step in the process. Don't underestimate what you're doing in this season, the internal work, the healing, the letting go. That's the real preparation. That's the foundation for the restored life you're building. You can't rush it, and you shouldn't fake it, but you can commit to it. You can show up daily and choose to become the person your future needs. You can start to believe that what once seemed broken can be made whole in a way that's even more beautiful. You don't need every answer right now. You just need a willing heart, a mind that's ready to be renewed, an attitude that leans toward hope. If you can bring those things to this moment, you are already on the path to restoration. You don't have to see the full picture to prepare the frame. Get yourself in position, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. Stop waiting to be rescued and start positioning yourself to rise. Because when restoration comes, it doesn't come quietly. It comes with power. It comes with clarity. It comes with a sense of divine timing that confirms everything you hoped for but couldn't explain. And if you're not ready, if your heart is still in the past, if your mind is still clouded by fear, if your attitude is still rooted in what hurt you, you might miss it. Not because it wasn't meant for you, but because you weren't open to receive it. So prepare now. Prepare in the unseen moments, in the habits, in the decisions you make when no one is watching. Train your thoughts. Speak your vision out loud. Journal your growth. Set boundaries that protect your peace. Nurture relationships that align with your purpose. Clear out what no longer serves you. You are not just waiting. You are preparing. They make you think that holding on will prevent you from getting hurt again, that if you keep rehearsing what went wrong, you'll somehow stop it from happening in the future. But the truth is, these things are not shields. They're chains, and they're quietly keeping you from the life you're meant to step into. Bitterness doesn't begin loudly. It starts in small, hidden moments, a broken promise, a betrayal, a dream that didn't come true. At first, it just stings. But if it isn't released, it settles, it grows roots. It becomes a lens through which you view everything else, every opportunity, every relationship, even yourself. Before long, you stop expecting good things. You anticipate disappointment. You brace yourself for the next letdown, convinced it's only a matter of time. And then there's self-blame. It can feel like honesty, even responsibility. But when it becomes a habit, it turns destructive. It tells you that the loss was your fault, that you should have seen it coming. That if you were better, stronger, smarter, more worthy, it wouldn't have happened. So you punish yourself in subtle ways. You shrink, you hesitate, you say no to things that could bless you because deep down, you don't think you deserve them. But here's the truth. None of that leads to freedom. None of that brings healing. Bitterness keeps you tethered to what hurt you. Self-blame keeps you stuck in who you were when it happened. If you want a new beginning, you have to be willing to release the old weight. You have to choose to let go. Not because what happened was okay, but because your future is too important to be held hostage by it. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means loosening your grip on pain that's no longer serving you. It means acknowledging what hurt you without letting it define you. It means giving yourself permission to start fresh, not with a clean slate, but with a healed heart. And that healing doesn't always happen all at once. Sometimes it's gradual, one thought at a time. You may not be able to control what others did. You may not be able to rewrite the past, but you can choose how you move forward. You can decide that the bitterness no longer belongs in your voice, your decisions, your relationships, or your thoughts. You can choose to speak grace over yourself instead of shame. You can look in the mirror and say, I did the best I could with what I knew at the time, and now I choose to grow. This isn't weakness. This is strength. This is maturity. This is the moment where your healing begins, not because everything is fixed, but because you are ready to release the need to control it all. That release creates space, and in that space, something new can rise. New beginnings require room to grow. Bitterness clutters the soul. Self-blame fogs the mind. They both keep your heart so full of yesterday that there's no room for what today wants to bring you. But once you begin letting go, you'll feel it. The tension starts to ease. The weight begins to lift. You begin to see things differently, not because the world changed, but because you did. Breakthroughs don't always come in the way you expect. Sometimes the breakthrough is emotional. A release, a realization, a peace you haven't felt in years. And once that breakthrough happens, everything else begins to follow. Relationships improve, creativity returns, hope is reignited. You begin to show up in places you once avoided. You start attracting what aligns with your healing, not your hurt. It all starts with the decision to let go. To no longer be defined by what went wrong, to stop identifying yourself by who left, what failed, or how long it took. You are not your wounds. You are not your worst moment. You are someone who survived, someone who's still standing, and someone who is now brave enough to move forward without dragging the past behind them. This choice doesn't erase what happened, but it does reclaim your power. It tells life, I'm ready now. I'm ready to receive what's next without fear. I'm ready to stop reliving what broke me and start embracing what's meant to build me. Because there is more for you, more joy, more connection, more fulfillment, more purpose. And it's not waiting for a perfect version of you, it's waiting for a free version of you. One who no longer carries the weight of what they cannot change. One who trusts that even broken pieces can be part of something beautiful. So take a breath, forgive yourself, forgive the past, not for its sake, but for yours. Make space, let go, and watch how new beginnings start to unfold where you once saw only endings. Your fingers, what you had to let go of, or what life seemed to rip away when you weren't ready. But what's coming next isn't just a return to what was. This is bigger. This is not about getting back to where you used to be. It's about rising to a level you've never seen before. Too often, we limit restoration to recovery. We imagine that the best possible outcome is simply to get back what we had, to feel what we once felt, to rebuild what was broken exactly as it was. But true restoration doesn't rewind, it transforms. It doesn't just hand you a duplicate of what was lost, it reveals something greater that you never knew was inside you. It lifts you beyond where you started. It awakens a strength, a wisdom, and a purpose that couldn't have been born in ease. If everything had gone according to plan, you wouldn't have become who you are right now. If there had been no heartbreak, no detours, no unexpected delays, you might have stayed small, comfortable, predictable. But the disruption cracked something open in you. It made you reach deeper. It forced you to find another gear. It taught you to survive in ways you never imagined, and now that survival has created capacity for more. More clarity, more intention, more courage. You see things differently now. You value differently. You love differently. You've been refined by fire, not destroyed by it. And that refining has made room for elevation, not just to restore what was lost, but to experience what you couldn't have even envisioned before. You didn't walk through the pain for nothing. You didn't lose sleep, wipe your own tears, and keep moving forward just to return to the same place. You endured so that you could expand, so that you could operate from a deeper well of power, so that you could rise, not just emotionally, not just mentally, but in every area of your life. This next season isn't about getting even. It's not about proving people wrong. It's not about rewriting the past. It's about embracing a future that's far greater than anything you thought was possible. You may have lost time, relationships, opportunities, or confidence. But what's ahead is not a copy of what you once had. It's a completely new dimension of who you are becoming. You've been stretched, you've been emptied, and now you're being filled with something greater, a greater vision, a greater sense of purpose, a deeper connection to what truly matters. You are not who you were before the storm, and that's a good thing. You've outgrown some things. You've outlived some pain. You've outlasted the version of yourself that settled for survival instead of walking in strength. There is a reason your story didn't end where it almost did. There is a reason you were able to hold on even when everything in you wanted to let go. There is a reason the door closed, the plan changed, and the waiting stretched longer than expected. The reason is this: you were being positioned, not punished, elevated, not excluded, prepared, not passed over. You're stepping into a place where what you lost will pale in comparison to what you gain. You'll gain a new sense of confidence, a new level of resilience, a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances, a joy that isn't tied to performance. You'll realize that what seemed like a setback was actually setting the stage for you to rise, not slightly, but significantly. And rising doesn't always look like the world expects it to. Sometimes it's not flashy or loud. Sometimes it looks like quiet strength, like boundaries that protect your peace, like choosing healing over hustling, like showing up fully in your purpose without apology. That's what real rising looks like, and that's where you're headed. You didn't come this far just to go back. You came this far to go higher, to step into the version of your life that reflects the version of you that has been forged through endurance. You're not who you were, and that's exactly why you're ready for what's next. You've earned it, not by striving, but by surviving. Not by perfection, but by perseverance. So don't focus only on what you want to regain. Start preparing for what you've never had before. Start seeing yourself through the lens of expansion, not recovery. Your identity is not in what you lost. It's in how you rise. And your rise will not be small. It will not be ordinary. It will be unmistakable. Because this was never just about recovering something old. This was always about unlocking something new, something greater, something you were born for. And it starts now with you believing that the future ahead of you is bigger than the pain behind you.